Welcome back to another at-home video series where today I'm going to show you how to freeze eggs. And yes, I'm going to answer the question, can you freeze an egg whole, just like this, right out of the carton? If you're watching this video, you probably bought a ton of eggs at the store. Currently, we're on week 3 of quarantine, so we have quite a few eggs because every time you go to the store, they're out. So maybe you want to scramble eggs and from frozen, I'm going to show you how to best freeze your eggs so you can use them for breakfast recipes and you can use them in your baked goods like this amazing chocolate banana bread. Let's get started. Hands down, the best way to freeze your eggs is by whisking them in a bowl. You want to combine your yolk and the egg white without getting them frothy, because when you whisk your eggs a lot, those little bubbles, they're going to freeze and get freezer burn. How many eggs do you freeze at one time? Well, that really depends on how you plan on cooking eggs. At my house, there are 5 of us, and if I want to scramble them for breakfast, that's 2 eggs per person, so that's 10 eggs that I would put in a bowl, whisk them, and then transfer them into a zip bag. Now, if you're just one person and you like 2 eggs for breakfast, then just whisk 2 eggs and put them in a zip bag. But the key here is to make sure you label how many eggs are in your bag. Now, a lot of popular baking recipes have 2 eggs or even sometimes 3. It really depends what your favorite recipes are. So the recipes in your arsenal are going to require that amount of eggs per bag. Now, I've seen a lot of videos before testing this and I'm going to show you, but a lot of people say to freeze the eggs in a ice cube tray. My ice cube trays are too small and the eggs overran for a large egg because that's just the eggs that I buy. So I did not like that method. My favorite method is to put the egg directly in a zip bag, zip it up, and then freeze it. Now, if you're wondering, how do I thaw those eggs? Well, you can take it out in just a few minutes on the counter. It usually thaws out, or you can run it under warm or just room temperature water, and in just a couple of minutes, your egg is ready to go. All right, so this was the whisk egg method, and here I have 1 egg that I whisked just a little bit, and now it's fully thawed out, so I can go ahead and cook it in my pan or use it in any of my favorite recipes. Now let's cook this egg so you can see how it comes back to life. All right, so on my stove I have a pan. I'm going to lightly spray it. So I'm gonna take my egg that is in the bag and pour it straight into my pan. This actually has really great texture. I'm pretty impressed. And so if you want to scramble it, you're just gonna take your egg and scramble it as you normally would. So guys, the whisking method is definitely the way to go. All right, so I'm just gonna take my eggs onto a plate. Now another method is to take your whole egg and crack it inside of a zip bag. And when you do that, you are going to get an egg like this. This egg I cracked, as you saw, directly in the zip bag, zipped it and froze it. And we're gonna test out how this thaws out in just a minute and whether or not you can make an over easy egg with this. I ran this under cold room temperature water and my egg white has thawed out, but the yolk, as you can see, it just does not have the same consistency. Now, could you throw these in a blender, blend them up, and then cook them? Well, sure. Nutritionally, there is nothing wrong with your egg. It's just that the texture is gonna be a little bit different. My favorite method, however, is whisking up my eggs and sticking them in a zip bag. We're gonna take that same egg and pour it straight into the pan to see if I can make some over easy eggs. So it seems to work. This is definitely not the kind of egg that you're gonna be able to dip a little bread on the yolk, but definitely it cooks up just like a regular egg. So this egg is ready to be flipped real quick. The yolk never really seems to be fully cooked. It definitely has a different texture. But can you eat this egg? Yes, you could definitely eat that egg. As you can see, this is the egg that I whisked in a bowl, froze, and then scrambled, or you could have made an omelet. And this is the egg that I froze whole, just like this, straight into a zip bag. This was a large egg. I thaw it out, and then I had to cook it over well. So you could definitely still enjoy these. I don't think that this method will be good for baking, but definitely if you just want to make an egg sandwich, it's a good way to go. A lot of you want to know if you could just take an egg and stick it in your freezer and let it thaw out and then cook it. So I did that for you. Check this out. All right guys, so this egg I froze for you, and as you can see, I don't recommend this method because the egg will expand. Like all liquids, when you freeze them, they expand. So I do not recommend that you directly stick your eggs in the freezer. I stuck it in a freezer bag because I knew it would happen, and just in case I didn't want it to get all messed up. But I did freeze a second egg, which has been thawing on my counter. So we're gonna check out what that egg looks like. All right, so this second egg was frozen and it's been thawing out, and immediately I can see that it's got some lines right here from where it expanded before. The yolk just never thaws out well, and it does not combine with your whites at all. All right guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. I am trying to film videos during quarantine that are helpful to you, to put ingredients to use, and make sure nothing goes to waste, like how to freeze milk and how to freeze cheese, which you'll find at the end of this video and the links below. See you next time. That's your brain on drugs. Can you freeze eggs? Not whole like this.